It's just what's bothering me is that being a celebrity sometimes comes with like everybody wants to be successful in a celebrity and stuff like that, but it comes with, bullshit sometimes and you know
What is going on? People don't understand. Like, you really do not know what happens to some of these celebrities and stuff behind closed doors. Because when they come out, they have these moments like this where they just doing things that are out of the ordinary. Like, you looking like, what's T? Like, what is going on? But
Like, seriously, just how many men have had to compromise their integrity in order to get a shot in Hollywood? Every day there's a new story about how Hollywood ruined a promising star only to cast them aside after milking them dry. Taraji P. Henson has always talked how she had to fight her way to get a seat at the table. And now, with everything coming out about what happened with her Empire co-star Bryshere Gray and Terrence Howard, it's not hard to see why Taraji is getting so vocal about Hollywood trying to silence the real issues and the people who talk about them. The way and manner that Diddy allegedly used and dumped Bryshere and then tried to do the same thing with Terrence has got the internet buzzing. This whole thing is just crazy, and every day it looks like more and more people have been saved just by Diddy being locked up. So let's break it down because there's a lot to go through. If y'all didn't see Bryshere's Twitter account where he was posting more regularly, just give yourself a pat on the back because you just don't know what you saved yourself from. Seriously, that was one case of curiosity killed the cat, because ain't no way you can look at Bryshere the same way if you saw his new content. And just in case you weren't aware of what was going on with him, Bryshere created an OnlyFans account after being unable to land any roles in Hollywood after he got blackballed in the industry. But that was just the start of a rabbit hole that you really don't want to go down. From posting thirst traps, he full on whipped out his thing, playing with himself live on camera. Now, I know people do this all the time, but ain't nobody want to see Bryshere do that. This really got people talking because everyone expected him to do big things after Empire. Then Bryshere took it a step further when he started to collab with gay and trans content creators. At first, he was just making them go down on him and would post pictures and videos about it. And then he took it a step further when he started being the one getting bent over by these men. He's making posts like, "I need my kissed. I feel like sucking D and balls." Ciao. It's a mess. And all of this for some OnlyFans chump change? He stays posting on Twitter, and you can go and check this out on his page if you want to, but nothing can prepare you for what you're about to see on there. No one is saying that Bryshere shouldn't be held accountable for his actions or anything like that, because he is an adult. But the Bryshere that we see now is a far cry from the talented young guy who popped up on us as the star of Empire. When he got into the industry at 17, he was allegedly mentored by Diddy and Will Smith. And if you ask Jaguar Wright, she says that his deadbeat mom, Andrea, basically sold him off to the monsters in Hollywood. Andrea and Bryshere's manager, Charlie Mack, connected him with Will Smith because he wanted to help him with his acting. And then Diddy came into the picture because he wanted to develop himself as a rapper as well. And you know nothing good comes from those mentorship programs. I mean, y'all don't remember all the things that went down at Puffy's Flavor Camp?
You happy now? He's a gay porn star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell? I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life, and what you had to do with it.
Jaguar Wright was one of the first people to speak out on this, and she had some very harsh words for Bryshere's mom for selling her son to the highest bidder when it came to setting him up for failure.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship.
By the time this so-called membership was complete, Bryshere had already been used and passed around as a young boy toy among the elites. His time in Hollywood was over, and he's been a walking mess ever since his gig with Empire ended. Back in 2020, his wife had to be rescued from him, and she ran out of their apartment asking for help. She said that he had been putting his hands on her for a while until she found a way to escape. And when the police got to his house to arrest him, It took hours to take him to the station, and his mugshot showed a very different Bryshere. And since then, every news story about him has been horrible. Like now, we said he's a very grown man and in charge of his life, but trauma definitely has its way of making someone a shadow of themselves until they start acting out of character. I mean, this is sort of like what we saw happen with Orlando Brown, who also admits that he was used by the industry. And now Terrence Howard also came out talking about his own experience with Diddy.
He invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you.
I mean, a dude, especially Diddy, saying he wants to hang out with you is always code for something else. Or don't y'all remember what 50 Cent said?
He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said something fabulous and he goes, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about?
Henson has gone off.
When people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like, he said something to me one time, a long time ago. At Chris Lighty's wedding, he told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of no. Take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
Terrence and Diddy weren't even friends in the first place. Y'all, Diddy wasn't even offering him a contract, a movie deal, or anything like that. And I know that Terrence has said a lot of questionable things, but what he described sounded like Diddy's usual MO. So it wasn't really hard to believe that what he was saying was true. Now, what really helped Terrence is the fact that he's pretty well known and didn't need his help to do anything. And from what he's saying, Terrence has already seen just how messed up other celebs were for allowing themselves to be used by Diddy. But he didn't get away scot-free. He had to give up on a lot of opportunities because he wasn't ready to play like that.
No matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything.
And still, what about those like Bryshere in vulnerable situations who weren't able to say no? And when it's not the cost of the body, it's the cost of the bread. Taraji also faced a very similar situation when she had to come out and talk about how she was underpaid.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over.
That's how the game works. You either submit or you starve. And when someone's been going through the struggle and finally sees a way out, more often than not, they're going to grab that opportunity with both hands. And according to reports, Taraji is happy that Terrence is finally speaking his truth and that more people are starting to talk about the injustice that Bryshere faced. We shouldn't be seeing Bryshere Gray like that. The blacks in Hollywood failed him. I hate whatever happened to Bryshere Gray, such a talented person. If Terrence Howard's telling the truth, Hollywood isn't just rotten, it's radioactive. If those names were at Diddy's events, the house of cards is about to collapse. Do y'all think that being in Hollywood without guidance is the reason that Bryshere turned out the way he did? Share your thoughts in the comments and make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.